Hello everyone, Amelia here. Today I'm going to show you how to do a treble crochet stitch. This is also sometimes called triple crochet, and it comes right after a single crochet in terms of height, and so it makes sense to call it a triple crochet. I'm starting out with a chain of 13 because this requires 3 chains to get started with and skip, because this is how tall a triple crochet is, or a treble crochet. And if you can remember that 3 chains, triple, it makes sense. So I have 13 because I think 10 stitches wide is a good size for practicing a lot of things. So starting out with 13 will give me 10 treble crochets across. To do a treble crochet, you need to yarn over twice. So you end up with 3 loops of yarn on your hook. And again, you're going to skip these first 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and insert your hook right here in this stitch. Draw the yarn through. 1, 2, 3. If you saw that, that is the pattern that you need to do for all of the basic stitches, and I will explain it in more detail now. You have your yarn overs, 2 yarn overs, you insert your hook. I'm going to do it in this next stitch here. Then you pull your yarn through again, so now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops. Okay, and for every stitch you are going to yarn over once, draw it through twice, or through 2 loops. Yarn over once, draw it through 2, and for a triple crochet you need to do that 3 times. This is another place where it makes sense. You do it 3 times to create a stitch, and it's a triple crochet. So you repeat that process 3 times. This is a pretty tall stitch, or it's getting to be taller, so it creates a more lacy type fabric if you're just doing triple crochet, but it also goes very quickly. With each row you gain a lot of progress, so you know, it works up quickly. So I'm just going to keep going across this row. 1, 2, 3. And you can see that now I've got several here, and it's creating that nice lacy effect. 1, 2, 3. Okay. If you are just looking at this and it looks a little bit too complicated, I would start with one of the stitches that's a little bit shorter. The double crochet stitch is a great place to start, but learning the single crochet or even the half double crochet stitches would be good too. Even though this is another really basic stitch and it follows the same movements and patterns of the other basic stitches, I would just recommend that if you're watching this and you've never crocheted before, that you maybe start with one that's a little bit shorter. Meaning the stitch is shorter and it doesn't require you to yarn over as many times. Because until you kind of internalize this pattern of yarning over and drawing it through your hook, and before you're really comfortable with handling everything, this stitch can just seem a little bit more complicated than it has to. So again, I would start with something like single crochet, half double crochet, or double crochet. But once you get to double crochet, then you'll have an even taller stitch that you can do. And you can see I've gone all the way across this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus our starting set of chains here that we used to get ourselves started on. There you go. That is the triple crochet stitch, or treble crochet. If you want to do another row, you just crochet another 3 chains and turn your work, and now you're going to keep going right along this line of stitches. I think they look like little hearts. You're going to continue pretty much in the exact same way that you just did your first row, but now because you have 1 row under your belt, it goes easier from here, I think. When you're starting out with just a chain and working into that chain with your first row of stitches, that I think is the hardest. So if you can persevere through that with whatever stitch you're learning, then as you keep going, it gets easier. So I hope this is very helpful to you. I hope that mastering the triple crochet gives you a lot of confidence. There are stitches that are even taller where you just keep adding yarn overs and you have to work through them even more times, and I'll go over that in another video. But this is plenty tall for most things, and it's probably the tallest crochet stitch that is, I would say, common, because once you get taller and more lacy than this, they're just not as common. So I hope this has been very helpful, like I said, and once you're able to master this, just know that you've pretty much got it. So thank you so much, and I'd love to see what you crochet with this stitch in the comments, or just pictures on Instagram or whatever you want. Thank you.